Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Lari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Lari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Lari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Lari. Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Haribo. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Lari. Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Vishnu Mahatma Mahamsa Parvidakacharya Sattva Rishi Maharaj Swami Guru Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Ananda Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories, Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. With all the bad that's happening now in the world, some good has come out of this. We were just chanting this beautiful song. And, you know, the Yamuna has not been so clean as it's been, they say, in the past 70 years. So there's a good that's come out of this. Devotees can bathe in the Yamuna again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading the srimadbhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, Maharaj Prithu's Going Back Home, text number 27. Tesam Darapam King Tvanyam Martyanam Bhagavat Padam Bhavi Bhuvi Lokayuso Ye Vai Naiskarmyang Sadhayanti Uta Tesam Darapam Kindhvanyam Martyanam Bhagavat Padam Bhuvilokayuso Hevai Naiskarmyam Sadhayantyuta Tesam Darapam Kindhvanyam Martyanam Bhagavat Padam Bhuvi Lokayuso Yevai Naiskarmyam Sadhayantyuta Tesam Darapam Kindhvanyam Martyanam Bhagavat Padam Bhuvi Lokayuso Yevai Naiskarmyam Sadhayantyuta Tesam Darapam Martyanam Bhagavat Padam Bhuvilokayuso Yevai Naiskarmyam Sadhayantyuta Yesam Sadhayantyuta. Tesam, of them, Darapam, difficult to obtain. Kim, what? To, but. Anyat, anything else. Martyanam, of the human beings. Bhagavat Padam, the kingdom of God. Bhuvi, in the world. Loka, flickering. Ayusa, span of life. Yea, those. Vai, certainly. Naiskarmyam, the path of liberation. Sadhayanti, execute. Uta, exactly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this material world, every human being has a short span of life. But those who are engaged in devotional service go back home, back to Godhead, for they are actually on the path of liberation. For such persons there is nothing which is not available. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9:33, Lord Krishna says, Anityam ashukham lokam imang prapya bhajasvamam. The Lord here declares that this material world is full of miseries. Ashukham. And at the same time is very flickering. Anityam. Well, people are really experiencing this now. So much fear because of this this virus. There's a devotee in New York, Ganesham. He's a priest at a hospital, and there's many priests of different denominations there. Good-sized hospital. So when someone wants to see a Hindu priest, they'll call him. But actually it's pretty, because there's so many people, so many patients there now, they're just, whoever's available, they just go, and someone wants to hear some about God or some prayers or something. So there was, he said there was one lady, she was a Catholic, and she was in there because of this COVID-19. And she had a very unusual experience. And she called a Catholic priest, and she told him about this experience. What it was is she had a cardiac arrest, so she had left her body, but they somehow resuscitated her and she came back to life. And she said during that time these creatures, these gruesome creatures came to take me away. But somehow I fought them off, and I came back into my body. And she told this to the priest, and he said, it's just a nightmare, it's just a dream, just an illusion. She said, no, it was real. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't it was real. So she wanted to get some understanding from other faiths, so she called for a Hindu priest, and Ganesham was called. And she explained the whole thing to him. So she said they were so gruesome, they were so horrible. They weren't going to take me to heaven, they were taking me to hell. So she asked Ganesham, why? I've been a good Christian. Why would God take me to hell? He gave an interesting answer. He said, well, you're still here. You didn't go to hell. So God's given you another chance. So she thought, well, yeah, I guess I could be a better Christian. So she became a little thoughtful. Krishna gave her another chance. So that kind of increased our faith about what we read in our books. And what's interesting is after this meeting with this lady, the head priest there wanted to know why a Catholic had called for a Hindu. And Ganesham explained that this lady had some experience of these gruesome creatures coming to take her away. And he said, oh yeah, I hear about that all the time. He'd been there for like 50 years. Oh yeah, I hear about that all the time. They do exist. Interesting, huh? I don't know if he was a Catholic, but he was a Christian priest. You know, there's different denominations in Christianity. So he said, oh yeah, they exist. I hear about it all the time. Interesting, huh? Therefore, one's only duty is to engage himself in devotional service. This is the best end to which human life can be put. These devotees who are constantly engaged in the devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord achieve not only all material benefits but also all spiritual benefits. For at the end of life, they go back home, back to Godhead. Their destination is described in this verse as bhagawatsaptaha. The word padam means abode. And Bhagavat means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus the destination of the devotees is the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the word naishkarmyam, which means transcendental knowledge, is also significant. Unless one comes to the platform of transcendental knowledge and offers devotional service to the Lord, one is not perfect. Generally, the process of jnana, yoga, and karma are executed life after life before one gets a chance to render pure devotional service to the Lord. This chance is given by the grace of the pure devotee, and it is in this way only that one can actually attain liberation. There's an interesting pastime of Prabhupada. Now, there's exceptions to this, that one has to perform many lifetimes of devotional service before one can go back to Godhead. And there was one devotee named Kartikeya. This is when Prabhupada was still here. And his mother wasn't very favorable. So she would kind of mock him sometimes. And then she got cancer, and she was just getting ready to leave her body, and her son, when Kartikeya went there. And she said to him, "Is your Krishna here now?" And then she left her body. And Prabhupada said she went back to Godhead because she was thinking of Krishna at the last moment of her life. Is your Krishna here now? And left. No, she wasn't. She was, she's dying, so she was a little more. She kind of changed her mood a little bit. Is your Krishna here now? Yeah, kind of questioning, not mocking. Prabhupada says she went back to Godhead. So if we remember Krishna at the time, we say this is the mercy of a devotee. Now Kartikeya may not even been a pure devotee. Prabhupada says here, by the mercy of the pure devotee, by the grace of the pure devotee. But of course it's the mercy of Prabhupada, because Prabhupada came and he preached and Kartikeya became a devotee, so ultimately it's the mercy of Prabhupada that she was thinking of Krishna right there at the end of her life. So that's special mercy of the pure devotee, Prabhupada. In the context of this narration, actually there's another amazing pastime of. I was distributing books, and this devotee came to me, and he says, I want you to have this Lakshmi, $60. And I said, well, why? He said, there was myself and some friends, we were swimming in this place where there was a waterfall and a nice swimming area there. And one of the persons there, he was not a devotee, but he liked the devotees, so he was associated with devotees. So he was swimming, and he wasn't a good swimmer. So there was this waterfall, and he was trying to swim to the bank, but he couldn't make it. And he knew he was getting close to the waterfall, and it was a big drop, no question of living. So he was calling to this devotee, Ram, Ram. He was calling, Ram, Ram, save me, Ram, save me. And then he went down, and I never saw him again. So those were his last words. Ram, save me! Save me, Ram! He's putting his hand up. Ram, save me. So those are his last words. Ram, save me. I mean, I don't know what his destiny was, but probably pretty good. He just remember chanting the name of Ram, save me, Ram, save me. Pretty auspicious way to go. So this person, he told one devotee that was on the side here, hold the $60 for me while I go swimming. So they gave it to me to use for book distribution. Pretty interesting. So many amazing ways people leave this world. In this context, or in the context of this narration, the wives of the demigods repented because although they had the opportunity of a birth in a higher planetary system, a lifetime spanning millions of years, and all material comforts, they were not as fortunate as Prithu Maharaj and his wife, who were actually surpassing them. In other words, Prithu Maharaj and his wife scorned promotion to the higher planetary systems and even to Brahmaloka because the position which they were attaining was incomparable. In Bhagavad Gita 8:16, the Lord affirms, Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartanarjuna. From the highest planet in the material world to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. In other words, even if one goes to the highest planet, Brahmaloka, he has to return to the miseries of birth and death. In the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 9:21, Lord Krishna also asserts, Te tam bhuktva svargalokam vishalang shinye punye matyalokam vashanti. When they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, after exhausting the results of pious activities, one has to come again to the lower planetary system and begin a new chapter of pious activities. It is therefore said in the Srimadbhagavatam 1.5.12, Naiskarmyam apyuchutta bhavavarjitam. The path of liberation is not at all secure unless one attains the devotional service of the Lord. Even if one is promoted to the impersonal Brahmajyoti, he runs every chance of falling down into the material world. If it is possible to fall down from the Brahmajyoti, which is beyond the higher planetary systems in this material world, then what can be said of ordinary yogis and karmis who can only be elevated to the higher planetary system, the higher material planets? Thus, the wives of the denizens of the higher planetary system did not very much appreciate the results of karma, jnana, and yoga. Om Jnanatamandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksham Malitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukham Krotavachalam Pangunung Haite Grim Yat Kripa Talaham Lande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Giradhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here it's saying now it's very difficult to go to the higher planetary systems. Many rules and regulations one has to follow. But what is a much greater achievement and much more difficult to achieve is to go higher, to go to the spiritual world. And sometimes it's asked, well, why does Krishna make it so difficult? Why doesn't he make it a little easier? It's so hard. But if it was easy, then the tendency is, if you get something easy, then you also give it up easy. But if you try so hard to achieve something, you just give it all you've got, then you won't give it up so easily. So Krishna doesn't make it easy, because he also wants to see our sincere desires, our intense desire, and that's actually what it takes. Tesam sarikjutanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenu yantite. He wants to see this constant devotion, because this is how it is in the spiritual world. This is the nature of the devotees in the spiritual world, constantly engaged in devotional service, uninterrupted, unmotivated. And this is actually the pleasure of the soul. In this material world, people think that by satisfying their senses, they'll achieve happiness. But no, this is illusion. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's stated, Nirmala Mohaj, Sangha Dosha, Adhyatma Nityava Nivrittikama, Dvandvara Mukta Sukha Sanya, Gachanchim Buddha Padamavyamta. That one who is free of false ego, just like we may be thinking that we're male brahmacharis or male householder, but actually this is an illusion. We're just temporarily in these bodies, in this particular circumstance. No. But it's the ego means identity. So what is our real identity? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sajjikavana Shravanadi Sudhikya. This is our real identity, is that we're the eternal servants of Krishna. And this service attitude towards Krishna can be awoken by this, exactly what we're doing here, hearing and chanting. This comes out, this pure devotion for Krishna comes out by this hearing and chanting. And then we come to the reality. We become completely absorbed in the reality of this service to Krishna, of being a servant of Krishna. Either we're going to serve Maya or we're going to serve Krishna. So better serve Krishna, because this is how we'll find utter happiness. It's interesting that indirectly the way I came to Krishna consciousness was because of the words of an atheist. Yeah, my brother. He once said to me, don't stay with anything that doesn't make you happy. And I was thinking, well, that's a pretty wise thing to follow, because we all want happiness. So he's actually a very intelligent person materially. Spiritually, he's not so much so much there. Got a lot to be desired. So I was living like that. If I got tired of a job, or I got tired of a girlfriend, or I got tired of this guy, if it didn't make me happy anymore, I would just move on, just reject it and just move on. So I did that until I found the Bhagavad Gita, until I found Prabhupada's books. Because I knew this, to follow this, will bring real happiness. And it did. And so many people, I get so many stories from people how they were suffering so much, and then actually even the people on the level of getting ready to commit suicide, but then getting Prabhupada's books and associating with devotees and finding the temple and becoming devotees and then becoming very, very happy. So this is actually a side benefit of Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada once said, if you're not happy, then you're doing something wrong. It's just a natural thing. So, nirmana moha. Moha means illusion. Of course, this is related to this false ego. Everybody's an illusion, thinking that they're a doctor, an engineer, so many things, policeman, but it's all just temporary illusion. Nirmana moha jitasungadosha adhyatmanicca, who understands the eternal. Now previously we were just had an understanding of this body. I'm this body, and whatever gives pleasure to this body, that's important. But then we get this knowledge that actually I'm different from this body. I'm an eternal soul. I was distributing books one time in Ireland, and this devotee was talking to this lady, and her husband had passed away, so she was lamenting. And her husband was a big Christian. He's a priest. So she was lamenting, and this devotee was explaining that actually this to get this knowledge will be very good in this traumatic time that you're experiencing. And she said, if I took this book, he would come back and he would kill me. So I stuck my head in and said, he can't kill you. You're eternal. And he's eternal too. He's not dead. And then she just thought, whoa, that's right. The soul's eternal. He's not dead. He's somewhere else. I'm eternal. And she said, thank you for saying that. And then she bought the book. So many people in different religions, they vaguely have this understanding that they're the soul. I think there's one statement in the Bible that what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world but lose the eternal soul. There might be another statement somewhere, some vague place. Anybody know where? I mean, that might be the only mention of the eternality of the soul. A very vague mention. But the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita is just like filled with so much information about the eternality of the soul. I was distributing books at one university, and this guy came to the table, and he was a big guy, a weightlifter. So I said, well, you're in pretty good shape there. How much are you benching? He said, about 350. So, okay, pretty strong. But you know something? Right now, you're dying. Not you, but your body, it's dying. At every moment, the body is dying, getting closer to death. So he said, so you think I shouldn't work out anymore? So no, go work out, it's good. I do yoga, I do walks, it's good to stay healthy. But you should also know this body's going to die, and you can't stop it from dying. So this book tells you about that which doesn't die, the soul. So this book helps you to work out with the soul, and to go beyond that which is going to die. So this will help you become strong spiritually. You got to work out with the soul too. I like that. He said, I like that. I gave the example of the There's so many nice things we could use in Prabhupada's books. I gave the example of this, the example of the lady that wanted a bird, and a wealthy lady got the bird cage and all kinds of jewelry in the bird. And she became enamored with the cage and forgot about the bird. So I asked him, so what do you think happened to the bird? She's so enamored with the bird cage, she forgot about the bird. What do you think happened? Yeah, probably died. Yeah. See, the body's the cage. Yeah. So what's most important is the soul. So you got to take care of the soul. Don't just be concerned with your well-built body, but that which is going to continue. You got to make yourself strong, make the soul strong. I said, oh, I like that. All right, he gave a nice donation. So we're trying to help people of all faiths, of all beliefs, that you're an eternal soul. Body's going to die. And people are actually this coronavirus is actually it'll be good for preaching. Right now we can't go out and preach too much, of course. So there are some devotees preach on the internet. Devotees are contacting old friends. One devotee, he said before he joined, he had so many friends, but then he joined and he just like pretty much deleted his Facebook page and just didn't, pretty much he was off the face of the planet for them. But then he thought, well, this is a good time to go back to my friend. And now they're buying books. He's contacting his old friends. Some are buying, books, Bhagavad Gita, and one even bought a srimadbhagavatam set because he was already a spiritual person. And you got a lot of time now. You could read all these books here. He said, all right, yeah, I'll take one. And people that we've met, there's these devotees in New York City. They got a lot of contacts. They're doing these saptarishis, the famous saptarishis. So somehow they were getting a lot of contacts, but they were building up and building. They didn't know what to do with them because they were so busy. But now Krishna gave them this time, and they're distributing hundreds and hundreds, so far they did more than 1,000 books on the internet, contacting them. So if you have any contacts, this is a good time to contact people and offer more books so they could understand more about the eternal soul and the eternal supreme soul, Krishna. Nimana mahajita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivrittikama. And one becomes free of lust. This, as Prabhupada said, lust is our old enemy, long-time enemy. And Krishna, he's our best friend. So we're trying to give up this association with our old enemy, and again come in contact with our dearest old friend, Krishna. Actually, this lust is just a perverted reflection of our love for Krishna, and by this process of Krishna consciousness, we're purifying this impurity that's there in the heart, and coming back to our normal condition. Actually, to be a pure servant to Krishna is our normal condition of life. We're just trying to go back to normal. Now we're in an abnormal position. Everybody is diseased with this lust. It's a pandemic. Another pandemic that people aren't aware of. So we have to let them know. In whatever way we can, let them know who they are. Yeah, I predict that this will be a great opportunity to preach. Material world, it's a place of suffering. People are suffering so much, even here in America. What to speak of the third world countries? One devotee up in Ohio. I was in Ohio the last couple of weeks, and there's one devotee there. Prabhupada disciple. He said his son, he got this business, transmissions, selling transmissions. He said the first week he made $12,000. The next week again he made $12,000. And then we got this lockdown. He said the next week he did $600, and after that, nothing. Business just stopped. Yeah. So people are, even successful businesses are having difficulty. So, anyway, let's see how far this goes. As I mentioned yesterday to Balaram, only Krishna knows. Yeah, only Krishna knows how long this is going to go on. But as Vaisheshika Prabhu said, this is our Chaturmasya time. This is the time to hear and chant and take shelter of Krishna. And they would do it for 4 months, but we don't know how long. We don't know how long this is going to go on. But it's an opportunity for us to take shelter of Krishna more, hear and chant. And now there's a lot more online preaching. Devotees are preaching online. So there's one devotee he said he's doing more preaching now than he's ever done. So Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vanivritti dvandvar vimukta means that one who is free of the dualities of happiness and distress. This is the big duality. Now people are experiencing so much distress, so much anxiety. And previously they were so happy in America. It's a pretty easygoing. People have money and jobs and facility for sense gratification. But now they're experiencing the pangs of material existence. In Australia, it's called the lucky country. The lucky country. No worries, mate. But last year I was there when they were having these fires. And these fires are so big, you probably heard about it, that smoke was going the whole western section of Australia. And people were losing their homes, and it was just unbelievable. And then, not long after that, there was these huge floods. They were getting flooded. Knocked out the fires, but they were getting flooded. People's homes were getting flooded, and just all kinds of. And now they're getting this. It's lockdown. The whole country's locked down. Like here, all over the world, pretty much. It's a lockdown. You can't call it the lucky country anymore. So yeah, it's dukkhalayam asastram. It's a place of suffering. So people are feeling this. It's a place of suffering. And I'm sure people are becoming a little thoughtful. Yeah, well, maybe there's something beyond this world. There's so much suffering. And I'm sure people are becoming a little thoughtful. And so many books. We distributed over 500 million books. And a lot of times they were just sitting there because they're working or going to schools. Now they got time. Hopefully some of these people that we distribute these books to, now they'll pick them up and read these literatures where they learn what's actually happening, what's actually going on. Prabhupada said that a devotee, he wants to get this pure devotee virus in a positive sense. Like Prabhupada said, that pure devotee, he does not have a material body because it is being surcharged with the current of Krishna's identical interest. So he's surcharged with this desire to serve Krishna. And people that would come in contact with him, they would catch this transcendental virus, where they also wanted to serve Krishna. And this just went on and on and on and on. People contacted Krishna, Prabhupada, and they just picked up this desire to serve Krishna. And that's how the movement spread all over the world. It's a transcendental pandemic. That people all over the world are getting an opportunity to hear about Krishna and to serve Krishna, and they're becoming very happy. There's one gentleman that was visiting Prabhupada's pharmacy. He was a customer there, but he was also a friend. And he could see Prabhupada wasn't an ordinary businessman. He had great love for God, for Krishna. So he asked him, "Can you give me the tonic by which I can get the love of God that you have?" And Prabhupada, kind of blushed a little. No, but I do have the formula. Who knows the formula? Such a beautiful exchange there. This is the key. Think of oneself lower than the straw on the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others without desiring respect for oneself. So important. So nirmana moha jita sangha dosha adhyatma nityava nivritikama dvandavara mukta sukha dukkha sari gatgancha mudha panam avidam. And who understands it, what is it? One is free of false ego, illusion, bad association, understands the eternal, free of the devours of happiness, and who unbewildered knows how to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, he attains the kingdom of God. So that's how to get to the kingdom of God. That's the sequence. Who unbewildered, we got to become enlightened, and this is, of course, this is how to get enlightened, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting the names of Krishna, associating with the devotees. We become enlightened in the service of Krishna, and who understands how to surrender unto the Supreme. He goes. So Krishna's given us so much direction. Prabhupada's given us so much direction on how to surrender to Krishna. So this human form of life is that opportunity to perfect this human form of life and go back home, back to Godhead. Any questions or comments, reflections? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.